Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sports Card Madness. This is LZ. I am here with Nick. We are going to be covering a lot today, like always. We're going to be covering some art cards and some shenanigans that are happening there. We're going to have covering a lot of news. We have a CT scanning update, which I know you all love. Then we're going to cover the regulars, and we're also going to introduce a few new segments today. So stay tuned for those. And we're opening up with a first new segment, which is
We
called
are.
the kickoff. So, Nick, you're kicking it off. What do you want to share with us?
All right. Yeah. So we've had some fun. We have stories, we just share about our lives, right? So this one's fascinating. I was going to talk to you anyway, but we're saving it for the pod. So
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of the listeners know I have an autoimmune thing. It's called ankylosing spondylitis. And I only say that because a lot of people reach out, they ask for advice on diet and treatment and all these cool things. And it's been actually really awesome to bond with, some listeners and help them. So shout out to Mike Strong. Okay, so Mike, he follows me on Instagram. He is actually the founder and CEO of Squatty Potty, that was on Shark Tank. So he's
Oh,
he's a
cool. All
successful
right.
entrepreneur. He has the same disease as me. He hits me up. He goes,
No, really?
he does, or
What?
he
Okay.
did. He
All right.
did.
All right.
So for the audience,
He
this is a
did.
nasty disease, but I have it well under control. So
Okay.
Mike goes, hey Nick, listen, man, we got to talk. I solved this. One thing you got to do, you'll solve this disease overnight. And I'm like, "Ah, okay, buddy. Like, all right,
Yeah,
whatever.
sure, pal.
Let's talk. Let's talk. I mean, hey, all right,
Yeah.
I'm going to listen.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to him, and he's like, so, you ever had any root canals? I'm like, yeah, I've had two root canals before. When did you have your root canals? I'm like, oh, geez, I don't know. Like 2019 was the first one, and 2021 was the second one.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And he said he had a root canal right before his autoimmune disease kicked in. Wasn't done properly. Like they take out infected pulp and everything. It stresses
Yeah.
out the body. He was almost in a wheelchair, like me. He flew overseas, went to see a biologic dentist,
Oh,
removed that bleep show, put a new tooth in, and within a few weeks was like, I'm good. No drugs,
no.
no drugs or
So
anything.
did
So,
what? All right, keep going. Sorry.
yeah, so then I
I have
went
a lot of
really deep
questions.
because
Mm, mm,
I don't just believe things. Like I went onto the NIH website. I'm like, all right, what peer-reviewed studies have we got?
mm.
There are a few. Then there's a book from the 1920s. It's called The Root Cause or something like that. And it
Good
is a
name.
fascinating book about root canals and how they impact people's health because you're not supposed to keep it's like Princess Bride. It's mostly dead tooth in your
Sure.
body.
Yeah.
Like it give you heart attacks and like just bad things. And there was a Netflix documentary like a couple of years ago. It was actually pulled because it
What?
was so controversial about root canals being bad. And I just left an hour ago. The dentist who did root canals, he did not want to see me coming today, man. I was like, "What's up? Let's talk."
So
And
the original dentist who
who
did your
did my
root
root
canal?
canals?
Okay. Yeah.
Very smart guy. He actually sits on the board of the American Dental Association. He's
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say much more because you identify him, but he was like, that book was written in the 20s, that was before these different practices and all of that. So he looked at my teeth. My teeth are totally fine. Everything looks great, but I'm like, geez, man, what if I just rip these out? And like just put fake teeth in. He's like, you could. You're gonna have a titanium rod in there, and that could cause problems. And I'm just, dude, I'm starting to research this like crazy, and the timing is impeccable. I'm gonna say because I started falling apart as soon as because you've known me,
Yeah,
and
that was going to be my follow-up question, Nick, is did you do the timing? Like when was your last root canal that you had?
right. So the
When
first
was
one
it?
was like
Yeah.
December 19. I had the first wave of autoimmune hit me that I recovered from in early 2020. And then I had the second one done in like 22, and I got curb stomped in like fall 22. So yeah, now the scientist in me would say, because my grandfather was a physicist, scientific method would say, like, okay, maybe you're more predisposed to these tooth issues because
Yeah.
you're on the autoimmune spectrum. But I am now exploring. So hey, everyone, check out that book. So controversial. They don't even sell it on Amazon. You have to get it on eBay, and then the Netflix doc got pulled. The root canal thing because of the
Wow.
power of the American Dental Association. So that's my kickoff story and information for the audience today.
Oh my God. Nick's gonna look like Donnie Wahlberg in 6 months. He's gonna have
Gold
full
teeth.
veneers. full veneers. They're going to be bright white. He's going to replace them all. It's very interesting, man. Like my gut reaction is just get the two damn pulled. So how many people? So many people have fake teeth, man. Get them
Yeah,
pulled. Put into two crowns. Be done with it. Wow,
I think
that is
so. I think I
that's
will. I mean, that's a
very
pain,
interesting.
but
Yeah, it's a pain, but how many people have that? There's so many. Again,
yeah.
Donnie Wahlberg, he's got what, 30 of them. He's got every one of his teeth. Every one of his teeth are fake. He's got these beautiful pearly white veneers.
Yeah, I didn't even know biologic
Um,
dentists exist until it. So shout out to Mike. Pretty wild, man.
wow. Wow. Okay. Cool. Jeez, man. That's
Deep thoughts.
that is deep thoughts. Um All right, I'm gonna my opening tip. So we do have a little bit of time. Let me let me. I was in an Uber a couple weeks ago, coming home from a conference, and I don't know if any of the audience has done this before. Nick, I'm gonna ask you if you've done this before. But I was coming home from a conference. I was there presenting. It went great. I was feeling good. I'm like, this conference went great. Great presentation. Crowd loved it. I'm in the Uber heading to the airport.
High energy.
And high energy, right? And the Uber driver has like a pop 100 station on, and he's singing. He's singing to
Okay.
different songs like while I'm in the Uber. And I'm like, wow, this guy's kind of cool. I like this, right? So Charlie Puth's song comes on, very poppy guy. The song "Attention" by Charlie Puth.
Okay.
You don't want attention. You know, by my heart. That song, hopefully you understand that melody. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
going to sing the whole damn thing for you. But I was feeling it, Nick. And this guy, flat out, like full burst, is singing the whole damn song. The chorus comes along, man. And I start singing with him in the back of the Uber. It's just great. It was this great moment of feeling good. Carpool karaoke, man. It was great. Would you do that if you were in an Uber? Would you
No.
sing along with the driver?
Never. I would never do it. I hate my voice. And it sucks because I play guitar now and I would love to like sing. I just don't. I think
Yeah,
my voice sucks. So
yeah.
I you would never catch me singing. I joked with my guitar instructor. The only song I would sing would be the opening to Patience because it's just whistling.
Oh yeah,
I could
yeah.
get
The
away with
whistling.
that, but
Mm-hmm. All right, all
I
right.
don't see myself singing, man. That's
Okay.
your
Well,
job.
audience, I want to know if you would have sung along with an Uber driver. This is a kind of a cool moment. All right, let's get to the topics. Topics of the day. First topic we're going to cover is one of the probably the most famous uh, hobby artists that makes cards, which is
Mm,
piggy banks, right,
piggy
Nick? So,
banks.
what do we want to talk about with piggy banks?
This is interesting. It was something that I got into like last week, and I started thinking like, so for the audience that doesn't know, there's a whole segment of the market called art cards. These are not made by Tops. They're not made by Upper Deck or anybody like that. They're made by independent parties. There's
Yep.
a bunch of them, but Piggy
Mhm.
Banks is the most well known. Some of his cards, actually, his average card on an average day sells for like 6 to 10 grand, to be honest. Just a regular like drop card. There are some unique things about it. They frown on resale, so you're banned if you try to resell it for more. Some of them are okay to resell, some are not. They'll buy your cards back, often at the price you bought them for. In many cases,
But they are being sold because you see them on eBay a lot. They're
I
being
do. So
resold.
people are going around it, but then those
Yeah.
people have the risk of not being able to buy it. Maybe they don't want to buy anymore.
Yeah. Well, they can
They
keep
got
buying them on
lucky and
eBay.
yeah, exactly.
That's it.
So, but what's interesting about piggy banks is they use characters with reckless abandon. So you'll have Darth Vader
Mhm.
on a card licking a popsicle. You'll have like Cinderella, whatever, eating ice cream. It's an interpretation. So it's not just like, oh, this is Cinderella. It's like an artist rendering of her doing something funny or interesting
Yeah.
or different, right?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
they use and they also do like they'll do like Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan. So they'll use like athletes'
Sure.
likenesses and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Piggy Banks has no licenses to my knowledge. I mean, maybe they do and we don't know about it, but I
Nobody knows about
strongly
it.
suspect that they
Yeah.
don't have any
Mm.
sort of license, even tangentially, to use like Michael Jordan's face or whatever. And I posed the question on Instagram. I'm like, is this IP infringement? And there's a lot of strong supporters in the art community that are like, well, this is transformative use. That was the big word. If
Hmm.
you, like Andy Warhol was able to paint Campbell soup cans,
Okay.
and so that's
No, okay. That's
transformative use.
sure.
You like
Hmm.
did something different with it. You put fairy
Yep.
wings on them or something.
Hmm.
But Andy Warhol, what, I mean, that case, he lost in the Supreme Court one time, and I think it was mixed in the district courts for different
Interesting.
situations.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he
Okay.
did.
All right.
So piggy banks, it's like, what happens if like Disney's just in a mood? They they send somebody out and they
Seriously.
see these things and they're just selling for 10, 20 grand, or God forbid, like 100 grand. They're like, wait a second. And it was actually a good debate. They're like, well, does that materially impact Disney sales? Maybe not. But what about their downtown? So they'll do a downtown like Gotham City with a Joker. That's
Yep.
DC Comics property,
Hmm.
right? And then that's a Panini property, the downtown. You can very clearly see. In my opinion, that may impact downtown sales in some
I think
way.
it
So,
would. Like, would that downtown sell for 10 grand?
yeah,
I don't
right.
know.
And if
Might
downtowns
not.
didn't exist with so it's fascinating. I think it's something that if it continues to grow, it's part of that Wild West
Mm,
theme we always talk about here, right? It's like what's going to happen with the art card market? Like, is
yeah.
Upper Deck going to care that a Michael Jordan card's on there? Is the Tiger Woods estate going to care that they put a Tiger Woods card in there? Is Disney going to care? Is Marvel? I don't know the answer to that, but my hunch is that somebody's going to care at some point.
Or is Topps going to care? Because Topps has the licenses to a lot of these.
Right? Yeah, because they have the license to
They have
use.
the Disney license.
So
They have
yeah,
the Marvel license,
it just seems
right?
like piggy banks has a lot of big 800-pound gorillas around it that it's kind of
Mm,
like, hey, don't worry about me. And I just feel like if piggy banks adds a zero
yeah.
to their business,
Hmm.
that these gorillas are going to start stomping. But we'll see,
Yeah.
man. It's an interesting space. Go check it out. It's, just Google piggy banks. See, it's got a website, or on Instagram, it's piggy banks. You can check out his cards, and I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. Right?
They're beautiful cards,
They
but
are
the
beautiful.
likeliness, the likeness is so
It's come on.
similar. It's so similar. I saw a Deadpool one, it's Deadpool. A Wolverine one, it was Wolverine. Thanos, like Thanos giving the middle finger or something. Like they are them. Like it's them. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
very
yeah,
very careful.
Luca
Um,
Skywalker. It's
so
like, come on.
one person had a good comment around this whole thing though, which was interesting. Is let's say piggy banks does get in trouble, those cards are going to be worth more money.
Yeah, I'm not saying
So
right. You think?
yeah, buy them now. Buy them now.
And that's
This
a great
is, I guess,
question. Like, what if the manufacturers came out with their own art cards? Would they care? Because it's like a big manufacturer and it's not like this cool independent guy.
true.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I just don't know how
Hmm.
it'll play out. It's going to be interesting to watch. I wouldn't personally buy any for investment. Like, if I thought one looked cool as art, then I might buy it.
I I really like art cards. I actually own
Oh, I
a
didn't know
lot of
that.
them. I do. I once I'm kind of done with my collection, I will share them with all of you, but I'm still building it right now. So that's just a teaser for a later episode.
Okay.
But yeah, I prefer like the hand painted, hand drawn ones as opposed to using a computer and designing a lot of these
Yeah, I
things.
mean,
But
I'm not sure if he uses
yeah,
AI or whatever, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's move on to the next topic. The next one I wanted to bring up was around actually something that I think we sort of predicted. If you remember the Paul Skeens debut patch card that went for what, like a million plus,
Yep.
right? And Dick's Sporting Goods bought it. And we had an episode and we talked about like what's Dick's going to do with this card? This is
Right.
interesting. Like, are they like, what are they going to do? And we started brainstorming, Nick, and we were talking about how, like, maybe they're going to have like a wing in all of their stores where they're going to have these priceless cards in them, or are they going to start selling wax? Well, fast forward to present day, and Dick's has officially launched a Dick's Collectors Club.
What is
And
this club? What's it all about?
so I don't know much about the club, but I've seen renderings and I've seen pictures, and they started with the Paul Skeens one. They had this big unveiling. I think it was at some sort of Pittsburgh store, and it's beautiful. It's like this home plate with like fencing that you would see at a baseball field, and then this one beautiful card right in the middle of it, and it's kind of like this center attraction at the store. And I thought like that was it, but then they made this announcement around this collectors club. So what the plan is at some of their flagship stores. So we did call it in that episode too. Boston has one of these flagship stores.
They do.
So Boston, I think, will be doing this. They're going to have a section in the store where they're going to highlight memorabilia.
That's cool.
And I do wonder, again, I should have read more details on this. I do wonder, I would assume they're probably going to sell wax. I mean, why wouldn't you sell wax?
At
I think
least
they should.
something, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like the
So,
hardware store we talked about last week, right? How much different is a sporting goods
yeah.
store in terms of the demo?
Hmm.
It's probably more women in a sporting goods store, but
Hmm.
um, yeah, I like this, man. It should be
But
interesting.
it will be really interesting. All these little kind of mini museums in these Dick's sporting good shops
Yeah, gets them
could
in.
be pretty
Buy
cool.
They buy stuff. I like it. Maybe
Hmm.
they'll even like you did skiings in Pittsburgh, right? Maybe they grab some gnarly like Boston card, whatever team, stick it in the Boston one,
Yeah, it
show
could
that
be,
off.
I don't know, it could be a Bill Russell rookie card, like
Could be
signed
a Ted
rookie, right?
Williams, yeah, or anything,
It,
man. Yeah,
the other thing around it too is it could be rotating. Like you think about these museums, if there's one global store, the Dick's, right? They could rotate them.
yeah.
So it could be these mini museums in all these different cities
It's actually a good
and they're
test to
rotating.
see. Yeah, like
Yeah,
card museums. It's an interesting idea.
it
You
is
know,
an interesting
will you go
idea.
actually look at a card somewhere like
Hmm.
you would at like a Van Gogh, or something like
Yeah.
that? I don't know. I mean, I talked to Marshall
Would
Fogel.
would you? Would you do
Depends.
it?
It depends on the cards. So I just had this conversation with Marshall Fogel like last week. He's got
Okay.
the best card in the world, the
Yep.
top PSA 10 52 mantle. If the
Hmm.
audience doesn't know, and he's like, Nick, it's a $700 flight. Come out to Denver and look at it. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I'd probably do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even film it. I just want to go
Hmm.
like hold the card.
Oh boy.
What's up?
Yeah.
$50 million card and put it back.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So I think I
Yeah.
would. Now that's a very special card. That's
That
like
is
going to see the
very
Mona
special.
Lisa, right?
Hmm.
Would I do it for $100,000 cards or $1 million cards? I don't know. It'd have to be something I like.
I think
Like
it'd have to be a cool collection. Like if it
yeah,
was, I don't know, every single downtown card, like in a big collection, like whoa, seeing those all on one wall, like that would be cool.
yeah.
I'm thinking modern, like kabooms, like if there was a special kaboom collection
Nat
or
Turner's
a
PMG greens.
yeah, exactly. Tom Brady autographs, like 50 Tom Brady autograph cards. I actually have a buddy who has a lot of these Tom Brady cards in his basement. A lot of them are autographs. Like that his collection is pretty awesome. Like that
Yeah.
being in the Boston store, that would be impressive. Now, if it's just like two or three cards, it's like, yeah, who
Unless it's
cares,
like
right?
the card,
Unless it's Mantle, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's Mantle or a 10-10 Jordan with the autograph and all that. So
Right.
all right. All right. So
Interesting.
moving on. So keep a lookout for that. And I think for actually the audience, we want to know if you would go to these museums. So we want to see those
Yeah. Let us
comments.
know what you think of card
So
museums.
are you singing in Ubers and would you go to card museums is what we what we want to see, everybody. We want to hear your comments. All right, moving on. Next topic. CT scanning. Nick.
CT scanning. We used to be like
Yeah.
the CT scanning channel.
The
Um,
gift that keeps on coming.
Yeah, I'm just so tired of it.
Yeah.
So, a lot of updates though that I think everybody should know. A couple of them are pretty material. So I actually connected with the guy over there. We obviously interviewed them before this all got crazy last summer, and they've totally revamped the website. So the company was Industrial Inspection and Design. They've revamped. You can still Google that and go to the website, but it's I forget that I'm gonna like blow it. It's like X-ray something something now. But basically, you go there and there's three very big updates. Update number one, they have a registry. So you can look up if an item has been CAT scanned or not. Like, whoa, you know. Now, but the problem
Whoa.
is not everybody's choosing to do it. But the ones that do choose to do it are going to be in this registry. And they have like a seal and they put this like, this thing on the
Ooh.
box.
Yep.
I was joking. They should put something radiological on the box. Like they should blast like they should blast radiation into it in like a shape, but they didn't do that. They just put like a normal thing on it. But
Yeah.
the other big thing they did was they aligned with Golden Auctions, which we talked about them last week and how they're
Smart.
growing the market and eBay brought them
Hmm.
up. Um, you can CAT scan something and it can go directly into a Golden Auction from this company now. So it's legitimizing. This is the one use case that I've liked since the beginning. So you had
Mm,
Logan Paul open up $350,000 worth of Pokemon booster boxes. They all had G.I. Joe cards. That was like 2 summers ago. Um, they were wrapped. BBCE wraps things, and it's kind of like,
sure.
wow, we think with
Hmm.
certain amount of certainty. But if you literally look inside with an X-ray, not an X-ray, a CAT scan, you're like, that box is good. And so
Yeah.
their certification is better than BBCE, I would say. So it opens up an avenue. Like if you're sitting on wax, is this real? Is this like the real deal that I just got? You could find that out. You can find out if it has God packs inside, and then you can sell it. Like you could just sell it with integrity. And now Golden could say like, "Hey,
Yeah.
listen, because this actually proves CT scanning, despite what Jeff Wilson has said, this proves CT scanning has impacted the wax market because now Golden is
Yep.
afraid to sell
Hmm.
high-end wax. And so what they've done is align with somebody who can
They've
say
embraced
this
it.
high-end wax is good.
Hmm.
And here are the
Yeah.
freaking images of
Yep.
it. And that's a whole nother dilemma, LZ. It's like, what level of imaging do you want to include? Like, do you want to auction? Like, do you want to
Oh
include the actual
no.
cards in the auction? It's like,
I wouldn't want to see any imaging. I would just want to trust the certification. Like, oh
yeah,
geez, imaging, like what's the point, right? Like, um, but I love it. It's just another form of authentication. We all love slabbing because it's a form of authenticating the card. Yeah, we do grading and slabbing too, but the first thing they do is they authenticate it.
yeah.
Right? This is a form of authentication.
It's going to
But it
evolve.
but
Yeah.
it takes it a bit further to your point. It's just another level, a deeper level of authentication. I think it's brilliant that Golden did
You know what
this.
would be
I
cool
do.
is if you have a box like, I'm not going to comment on whether or not they could do 86 Fleer. We've covered that in our videos, but
Hmm.
let's say I
Hmm.
had an 86 Fleer box sealed up, and like you just zap it right, and like you're not going to open that thing, and you're just like, yeah, it's three Jordans. It's right there. It's
That's
right
it.
there, and it's right there.
Oh man.
And you just have it on your mantle for your grandkids. You like, there's three Jordans. One's right
Yeah.
there. One's right there.
Oh, very
Uh,
cool. So let's
cool
let's
stuff.
let's stay updated on that. Speaking of Jordans, let's get on to the next topic. This is a quick topic, but it was in the news this week. Michael Jordan is signing on for a TV deal with
I
NBC
thought you were
and
about
the
to say Michael Jordan
NBA.
is doing a signing, and I'm like,
No, but Nick, but
yes.
it has you thinking. Conspiracy theory tinfoil hat on. Michael Jordan is starting to become a little more present now. He's signing a TV deal. He's going to be on TV. Let's call it, I don't know, once or twice a week next NBA season. He's going to be an analyst. He's going to be at different events now. Who knows? Maybe he'll be even at like the playoffs. He'll be at the games, like similar to like Charles Barkley and Shaq, right? Like there's a little more opportunity, everybody now. Like maybe he's
So
a
you're
little
saying there's
more.
a chance.
There's a that's it. That's it, man.
I
I'm
think
grasping at straws here, but you never know, man. You never
I've
know.
been saying this all along about MJ. His autographs are nuts. Like the prices on his rookie cards,
Mm.
because he's notoriously difficult. But like, he's gonna get older. It may not be now. It might be in 20 years. It might be in 10 years. Just think about your horizon, and if you're hoarding MJ autograph stuff, like there could be a time where he just starts signing. Like not like all the time, like do public
Yeah,
signings, but like, hey, yeah, I got like Barkley, right? Like people can get Barkley at the bar or the
they can.
airport,
Hmm.
and his card still fetches 500 to $1,000. It might be a point where George is like, you know what? It's like one per person. Everybody can have one, you know?
Yeah, I'm a little
So,
more public facing now. Like he's got a PR team that's like, hey, Michael, like one of every thousand you actually should do. One of
yeah,
every
do it on
thousand.
camera, kiss a baby.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
One of our
Hmm.
buddies got him in person, the head of the
The
Dick
Hall of
Barnett
Fame.
Foundation.
Yeah, yeah.
He got him at the Hall
Hmm.
of Fame. Spike Lee gave the
Hmm.
approval nod. MJ said, I haven't even bleeping sat down yet. And he turned around and signed his card for free. And then everybody else tried to, and he denied everybody.
Yeah,
But,
denied them all.
he's a good dude. He obviously runs
Hmm.
a big nonprofit foundation for New York and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm happy he
Yeah.
did get it signed.
So something to pay attention to, Nick.
Yeah,
All
you're
right.
saying there's a
Something to pay
chance.
attention to. There is a chance. All right. We are doing a new segment that is going to be a weekly segment. It is called The Pop Report. And it has nothing to do with cards, everybody. It is the Pop Report is going to be popular news items that we wanted to make you all aware of, things that have stood out to me and Nick. This is going to be quick hitters. All right. So this is going to become
These
a
are all
regular
yours
segment.
this week. I'm going to be honest to the audience, as we
Okay.
always are. You did that. You're
Yeah.
more of a pop culture guy than me, so I rely on my wife for all that stuff.
Pop report. Here we go. Number one for everybody. The Portland Trailblazers basketball team is up for sale.
Ooh,
What do
$5?
we think about that? What do
How
we,
much?
what do we think about that? What's the other co-founder with Apple? It's Allen. Paul Allen. Paul Allen's estate owns the Trailblazers and they have put it up for sale.
Oh,
Now we
wow.
do know,
I did not know that. That's cool.
yeah, yeah. Now we know that the Celtics just went for like 6 billion, right?
I'm looking right now. I asked ChatGPT what it thinks it's worth. It says 3.6 bill.
All right, 3.6
That
billion.
feels about
Obviously,
right.
it's
That's a pretty
not.
iconic franchise in some ways. You had the Drexler
Mhm.
years, and
Yeah,
um, it's a pretty diehard fan base for
it
sure.
is. It
Um,
is.
they've endured a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's wow. I mean,
All right.
it's cool. Like sports teams coming up for sale all the time. One of our favorite shows? I think it's Billions. They're like that's how you unite people in America.
This
You
is
give them a
get a
sports
sports
team
team.
because there's
Yeah.
only what 150,
Mhm.
something like
Yeah.
whatever,
Hmm.
100-ish. Um, it's pretty dope to just be like, yeah, I own the Blazers.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So
3.6
pay
bill.
attention, everybody. All right. So GPT is saying 3 point what 6?
3.6
All right.
billion. We'll
Let's
see.
see if it goes above 3.6. All right. The next one, I was so excited to hear. A few episodes ago, Nick, we were talking about show reboots.
Yep.
Like, what would you want to see back on TV? And I said American Gladiator.
You did it.
My wish has come true, everybody. American Gladiators is coming back to television. I think it's going to be on Peacock. The
You did this,
Miz,
man. You did this.
I did. I think
You
I honestly did.
single-handedly did this.
Yes, I did. I willed it to happen, everybody. So we are soon going to see, hopefully, Nitro's back on and Zap, and we're going to see the tennis ball cannon that shoots. So you're welcome, everybody. You're all welcome. You're
Yeah.
welcome for
Thank
that
LZ
for
for that
American
one.
Gladiators. All right, and the last one, which is actually we just talked about Dick's. This is interesting as well, everybody. Dick's Sporting Goods is in the process, or by now, by the time this airs, they might have actually done it. They're buying Foot Locker,
Oh, wow.
which is interesting, right? You think of Dick's, these big mega stores. Foot Locker, they're in malls, they're tiny, they're not as big.
Smaller footprint. Yeah, makes sense.
Smaller footprint. Nick, it does have me thinking conspiracy hat back on, right? If would Dick's do a smaller footprint and maybe have cards in their stores?
Makes sense. What are
I
the
don't
margin
know.
on shoes and what are the margin on cards?
I wonder. I wonder. They're
Well,
starting
I
to dip
mean,
their toes into it.
yeah, I don't know if that's public info, but like you assume clothing and shoes are low single digits, and you assume cards are probably teens, or something
Mhm.
like that in terms of margins. So you want like any good store. I mean, I hate brick and mortar business in general, but like,
Yeah.
you want to balance out your margins. It makes sense.
So Dick's is trying to take over the world, one store, one
Hmm.
Foot Locker at a time. Everybody. All right. So that is the pop report for today. All right.
I'll come
Next
in. I'll
one.
come in next week with a couple. I promise.
All right. Cool. We'll
I'll
always just
try.
have like three or four. All right. Joe Hollywood was the next topic we
What
wanted
an
to discuss.
evolution. This is a great branding exercise. So Joe Hollywood, he's got the glasses, he's got a very popular Whatnot stream. He was on one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. People are sending it to me like crazy, and it was like I tuned in. This guy has a 10-foot samurai sword. All right, just to paint a picture for those on audio. They're in a room that looks like I don't know, looks like episode 1 of Star Wars. It's like you're inside a Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
It legit had Han Solo and Carbonite in the back right corner. Like legit.
Wait a
Like
minute, so
looking,
this is a real room. This wasn't like AI
yes,
imposed.
this was a real room. They were walking
Okay.
around this real room.
All right.
So he pulls out this sword. They wheel out a skull. Okay, they wheel out a skull in the middle. The skull is full of like green jelly or goo or jello, whatever the heck it is. And then I'm like, what am I about to watch? And Joe's like, yeah, man, like we're gonna have some fun tonight. First time ever on Whatnot. I'm like, what am I watching? This guy, he's like selling knives. Okay, so they were like a huge knife seller, and Joe's in there to pump it up. Pulls out this sword. He just whacks that skull, dude. Just chops the thing in half,
Okay.
oozing everywhere. I'm like, I am entertained. I'm like, this is
Are
pretty
you
good.
not entertained?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yes.
And then I see
Mhm.
Joe. He's branching out he's one of the biggest clothing guys. He buys trailers and just sells clothing like by the
Okay.
box. And
Clothing's big live selling. That's
yeah,
big.
but
There's
this
a
is just
lot
like
there.
Joe Hollywood. He's like, look at this box right here. You could start a clothing store with this box. It's so good, and just like, oh, it's great. So you're
So he's
starting to see,
diversifying. He's
yeah,
expanding.
cross branding,
Yeah.
diversifying.
Uh-huh.
He's also still having trouble with wax. He had another box, 2012 Prism. It was All My Children cards, sitcom from the 90s or 80s, and I was ragging on him pretty good for that. It's just like not just because they're on Whatnot and have 1,000 followers doesn't mean that the product has been CAT scanned properly
Mm,
or reviewed by BBCE. It could just be bought off of
yes.
eBay in a skunked box, and he had another one. So
Oh
kudos to
man.
Joe for expanding his brand and having fun.
Could we go back to the All My Children? So we talk about the junk wax error. Like if it like that should be in the dictionary if you look at the junk wax error.
Like, are
Like
you kidding
that
me?
that is the type of cards that were being were being produced
It's
in the
wild.
late 80s and early 90s. All My Children soap opera cards.
Right.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
that's
And they exist.
ridiculous.
I mean, I have Goonies cards,
Oh,
but I actually like those. So that's a whole nother
yeah.
story.
Yeah. All right, let's get on to a segment that we always do, which is Bonehead Breakers, Nick. Who do we have for today?
Oh, LZ, this one's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's not boneheaded.
I
All right.
actually you already told me about this one
He's
either. I
got a
agree with you.
bonehead name,
Yep.
but
Okay.
what he's doing is quite innovative.
Yeah,
So
I
his
like it.
his
I like
name
it.
is Ben Inside Her.
Gonna
Okay.
leave it there.
All right.
Yep.
Yep. So we're like 10 years old.
Hmm.
And I pull in, and he's got a fireplace. Like he's got a pellet fire stove, and it says buyer or fire. And I'm like,
Okay.
huh? So I start watching. He's like, basically, there's a couple ways that cards could enter the fire. Number one, if nobody buys it. So he's just getting rid of cards. If nobody buys it, he just
Yeah,
chucks it
good
in the
way to
fire.
get his inventory, turn over
Yep.
his inventory, just
Just
get rid
throws
of
it in
it.
the fire, more
Yeah.
fuel for the fire. The other way, it was either 10 or $20 in tips. I can't remember. Automatically, that card goes in the fire.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he pulls if
I
you
was
give him a
getting
$20
so
tip.
mad too. There was somebody with 1 second left on every dollar card saving it. And I just wanted to see cards go in the fire. And I'm like, come on, man. And I almost tipped it, but I'm like, no, no, I'm not wasting like coffee money on
You're not
this.
feeding
Like,
into this.
stop. I like slap myself for a
Yeah.
second, but wait for somebody else to do it.
Hmm.
So if you want to do this, it's Ben, like Ben, inside
Hmm.
her and whatnot. Follow the guy. I think this is innovative. I had an idea like this. It was a bit controversial where I would start a stream and it's like it's almost like death row for cards. You pay a certain amount, or I rip them in half,
Rip it
or
in
something
half.
like that. So this is kind of
This
a
is next
version of
level.
that.
This is
Yeah,
the next level of
just
that.
burn it.
I like this idea. This is appointment viewing. I would tune in and watch this guy burn cards.
Yeah,
I
for
really
like an
would.
hour.
Yeah, that's great. Like seriously, shout out. This is a good one. I'm glad we focused a bit more on a positive one
Yeah, it's not
than
that boneheaded actually. I
yeah,
think
it's not that
innovative
boneheaded.
breakers.
Yeah, innovative. We might need to come up with a whole new segment, but yeah, this is a great one, man.
Check it out.
Check
Check
it
it
out.
out.
All right. All right. So we are to question of the day, Nick. You've done a few of these lately, so
Your turn.
I'm gonna take this one. All right. And I will for because we have Boston audience members. I actually stole this question from the Felger and Maz show on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Okay.
Stole it because it's great. It's a great question. All right. If you had to deal with an injury to one of your body parts for, let's say, a month, you were going to have an injury for a month, what body part would it be and why? Why would you pick that one?
Well, as a man who has lived through my body injuring itself through
Mm.
autoimmune, I've experienced pain everywhere.
Sure.
And I am no stranger to mechanical injuries. I broke my rib last month. I broke my leg snowboarding a few months back. Um, I mean, the cop out is I'll just gonna break like the tip of my pinky. You know what I mean?
All right,
That's
you
the
can't
easy.
cop out. You can't cop out. It's got to be a little bit bigger
All
of
right, so
an
it's got to be like a
extremity.
major injury.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's got to be a major one, but you're going to be down and out for at least a month.
All right, I will say this: a break to the leg sucks because you rely on your legs to move. Like the
Mhm.
arms and stuff like that are a little bit more easy
Hmm.
to deal with. Um, I'm gonna break my wrist clean, not a compound fracture. Um, that sucks. I can't play guitar though.
You
Oh man.
can't. You can't do a lot, man. You
But I
can't do
can't
a
cop
lot.
out. So I mean, shoulder, that's rough too. I
Hmm.
certainly don't want to break my neck.
Hmm.
Um, you know what? I'll get tennis elbow. I can still play guitar with tennis elbow.
Okay.
Plus, I can cure
All right.
tennis elbow in like 3 weeks with my
No,
shockwave
you
machine.
can't. No, you can't. The shockwave machine is
It's
broken
banned.
for that
It's
month.
out of the
For that
closet.
month. All right. So you're gonna get a bum elbow.
I'm gonna get a bum elbow.
A bum elbow.
Whatever.
All right. For me, it's gonna be. I'm gonna say a foot, a broken foot.
Oof.
That I'm going to be put in a cast and I'm going to have to walk around for a month because if I have a broken foot, I can still do the majority of my workouts. I can still do chest days. I can still do back and buys. I can still do shoulders. I just can't do legs
You can have the
for that
quad
month.
father. You can have one really strong
There we
leg.
go. One big one quad father. Yeah. So I'm going to do broken foot. That's going to be terrible, but hey, I'll deal with it for a month.
Yeah, I mean, I was in that situation and I did a lot of sitting down and lifting and all that. I
Yeah,
was
you still do a
actually
lot.
with the broken foot, I was actually able to do bridges because
Hmm.
of all the forces going through the ankle. Now I'm not a, doctor, but
Okay.
yeah, so I agree. That's not too bad. I copped out.
Okay.
My way's easy. I could fix any soft tissue thing I could fix in like less than a month, so
All
it's
right.
not
Well, I
fair.
need you to fix my shoulder because my shoulder's been bothering me a lot
All
lately,
right, man.
man. A
All
lot.
right.
Okay. All right, everybody. That is it for today. All right.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.